Yo, paradigm. All right. This is gonna be cool. Hopefully, we'll see. So, a lot of what I do on a day-to-day basis really involves my why, and you know, keeping track of your why involves training and doing things and staying on top of things and setting goals and hopefully reaching them and breaking down a way, reverse engineering a way to reach those goals. So, day in, day out, essentially, I don't really have a good day unless I show up here, Redline Functional Training. This is where I coach a few days a week and where I train myself the rest of the days of the week. And yeah, so my goal in marketing is to reach out to companies and act like that prospective customer that, that doesn't have the time to go really fiddle around with every business and hope that they're not going to get screwed over and get a proper, value for the money that they're going to be spending to get what they want to do. And that's where I come in. So my why, my history is in health and fitness. I weighed a ton of weight. I weighed 250 pounds after college, lost 100 pounds, worked as a personal trainer, opened up a healthy cafe, was meal prepping for people for a year, and moved to Kitchener, teaching martial arts, teaching personal training. And then I help people in sales because I have done TV, magazines, radio, throwing events, anything you can really do to bring kind of the public in and be a community pillar with a business. That's what I try to do with my cafe. Anyone who's a go-getter, anyone who's trying to do things out in the world, they would stop by my cafe, top up, you'd have proper meals, proper everything. So now that I live in a new area, I want to find places that do that for people like me, people like yourself, that are out and about. They don't want to be bogged down by just systemic nonsense that's literally engineered to get in your way, whether that be food, whether it's just laziness, commodities, whether it's Netflix or flashing pictures, just dopamine. So that's what I have to kind of get myself out of that funk and do the things that fill my cup, even though they feel difficult, they're hard, but they fill my cup, right? Like there's no mathematical equation to it. It's so emotional. That's why it's kind of a hard thing for men or people to navigate, because it's an emotional thing. But yeah, you can't fill other people's cups if you have an empty cup. And that's one thing I've realized in business, talking to these people, is like, look, I have a vision. Everyone, and I also have back problems, so like trying to find a chiropractor who's legit, trying to find someone who knows what they're about, who has those reps in and didn't just study something and thinks they know it all. Like, I don't want any Dunning-Kruger experts trying to preach, right? Like, no, it's if you've ran through the gauntlet, you've gained expertise in a certain area, I want to help you share that with the community and the business that I work with. We do that in the best way. So it's a delicate balance of being in sales but also not being salesy, because I can't sell anything, right? I can only sell the things that speak to me, that I value, that I have personal history with. And yeah, so that's the gyms, that's classes, that's having a place to go train, to work out, to play around like as an adult, to be in a community, to meet people, to have good food, to be able to run out and know places that are not going to take away from you getting better 1% every day. So I'm going to start my day here. You're going to see me train. I'll show you what I'm doing to try and build back my muscle mass that I've lost when I had my back injury, when I couldn't walk for about 4 months. So I want to get back to, feeling like who I am, not so much the stick figure. My body dysmorphia is insane. And I'm not, it's not a stick figure. I'm fat, but strong, but don't look good in it's a whole mental thing. So, and one of the next things I want to get doing as the channel grows, if you're interested in sales things and, becoming, everything is sales, like whether you're finding a relationship or just out and about in the world, or even just gaming to an extent, you gotta have an aspect of sales that you think about. That's how the world works, unfortunately, but it's just true. So if you're interested in that stuff, I'm not going to post it on the non-member side of my channel, but as we grow, I will be posting, like, I'll do some of my live calls, how I prospect, what businesses I want to reach out to, how I find businesses that interest me, what I talk to these business owners about, and hear how they're trying to impact the community and do positive things. And eventually, one year, I will have a space like this that you see me walking around in. It's going to be mine. It's going to say Paradigm Shift on the wall. We're going to have a big functional training space, a big kitchen classroom where we teach people how to cook, meal plan, meal prep. And with my girl, we're going to have a big dog training area. So yeah, and then with families too, kids, it's just as important for kids to be able to hang off of things. And yeah, start them young, put them on the right path, because it's really just a use it or lose it situation in life. If you don't have a place to, play around, have some fun, then everything, stairs, you name it, it's just gonna get trickier and trickier. So that's really all I gotta say for this morning, kind of giving you the rundown. This video will be longer than the rest of them because there's so much exposition. There's a lot to kind of get across of what we plan to do. And yeah, I'm gonna be here training here. Essentially, this is where I take my morning meetings, do my calls, and throw a little edit together. We'll head home, show you guys what we eat for the first meal of the day, probably show you what dinner looks like. It's essentially mainly prioritizing protein, animal-based diet, and then how we supplement the main things: vitamin D, magnesium, some K2 in there, and yeah, make sure you're eating everything properly so you get, your B12 and all that good stuff. But we'll run through all that later. Just want to say what's up and how the schedule is going to be looking, because I'm going to be doing PPL, push-pull legs, twice a week to try and get my muscle mass back up. But the way I lift is we work on our strength. So let's just say bench press for 3 to 6 reps, somewhere heavy, and then we're going to superset with chest flies, some lower weight for 10 to 12 reps, something like that. And essentially that's the structure I do most of my workouts in. Then we keep it functional, lots of lunges, lower body stuff. I'm a martial artist or whatever they call them, so my kicks are very important to me. And yeah, same with like rock climbing, snowboarding. So it's a hot, my training aspect is what are my hobbies I like doing, reverse engineer it so I can progress at those hobbies without actually doing it, because hobbies are expensive. A gym membership is a lot less expensive, and with consistency and routine, you just train how you play for sports, and then when you go play the sport, you're better. But anyways, so you're gonna see essentially what I did today. I didn't record that much because I was in my meetings, so I still have my own structure to figure out for you guys. But yeah, I want to be consistent on here. I want to grow my community, because one day we're gonna have our own facility, and we'll have our brand by then. And like I said, I work in marketing, I work in branding. My own facility I plan to have when I'm like 40, and just get to be there every day. So I'm 26 now. I got a nice long campaign of branding and growth to kind of achieve, see what we do. And yeah, join the ride if you're similar to me, or if you feel like what I'm saying resonates with you. Then yeah, hop on the train, subscribe, like, comment, and say what's up. Definitely say what's up. And then we'll build out our whole community portals as we roll. Get in on the ground floor. We'll have some fun and try not to have a life where we depend on like SSRIs or antidepressant medic, because all that shit is finite, right? Like, yeah, I want to hop on it, but I can't. That's just not a proper game plan, when the first things to do are to talk it out with someone, and then to have an exercise, nutrition, dial in your daily, everything you consume on a day, whatever you do daily, assess that stuff before you hop onto like pills and things, because that's going to be something else you have to assess daily. Like, you're going to just walk down a road and not recognize yourself, and then feel like you have to backtrack the whole road to get to the point where you want to be. It's kind of where I'm at now. And yeah, we're going to keep going the natural life, because we're here for a long time at the end of the day. And yeah, all right, have you out for now. See you guys in a bit. What up? Back on the other side of the recording. on the voiceover side of things, I wanted to kind of elaborate on the body dysmorphia I touched on. So I used to always see guys climbing this rope, and it's something that I've always wanted to do, and I myself feel pretty weak. But the other day after class, I tried to climb this and it went in my favor. So kind of just wanted to see how it felt today, as I'm feeling better mentally, even though I feel like I don't have any muscle on me and I'm weak and like not really capable of as much as I used to be able to. Still gotta remember that I am pretty capable. I've come a long way. I have not lost all my gains or anything like that. And like you can see in my walk, man, the confidence just isn't there. So we know what we need to do to bounce back. And yeah, let's just have fun doing it. So getting back into things, today being a push day, just wanted to pump some blood and move some weight through my chest, my triceps, my shoulders. Decided to go for the barbell bench press today. I don't know, just been feeling. Normally I prefer dumbbell bench press just because it's just nicer and more comfortable on my shoulders. But I felt like benching traditionally today while getting back into the swing of things. So I always go for a heavy movement up front, meaning that I'll aim to lift in a 3 to 6 rep range, something heavy that, like a compound lift like bench press. And I'll superset that with something lighter for more hypertrophy, just to keep causing that muscle fiber damage and develop that muscle, because I'm not really aiming to compete or anything like that. I'm not aiming to be a bodybuilder or be on stage or anything. This is just how I like to train, and I like to always progress on a strength curve and kind of progress on an aesthetic curve as well. So supersetting my bench press with chest flies at a much lighter weight. Here I'm just using, I think, 12-pound dumbbells. Really getting a nice extension, moving through the whole range of motion. And you'll see me opening my hands on the way down and on the way up just a little bit. And closing my hands and really squeezing when I need more power. That's because opening our hands will take out a lot of our forearms, our biceps and our triceps, and put far more of that load onto our chest fibers. Give it a shot next time you are doing these, and you'll definitely feel it. So yeah, I didn't record too much today because I had my meetings, so that's something that I will figure it out for you guys. But yeah, today's goal was to have a heavy chest movement, superset with a hypertrophy movement like these flies here. Then I went into landmine rows, so good heavy movement up front, and supersetted that with some banded work. And then I went on to like skull crushers, and then finished or superset that with some more banded tricep extensions, single arm, just so I can get that full range of motion, full extension that often using 2 arms kind of takes away. So yeah, 3 sets of each of these exercises, 3 to 4 sets minimum, and yeah, have fun with it. I'm doing push-pull legs twice a week, so I don't really have to take like each workout uber seriously in a way. Obviously bring the heat, but hitting each of these body parts twice a week just takes out any doubt that I'm not really like working muscle groups or imbalancing kind of my body. What you see me do right there, just put your hands together, press it, lower it down to your chest, and squeeze it all the way up. That's something I like to do just to prime my chest for that mind muscle connection. It'll just focus you into where you want to be pushing. And yeah, barbell benching is definitely its own beast, right? Incorporating leg drive and bar path, how it's moving, lowering it down to that center of your chest, but pushing up in kind of that arc fashion, not your back arcing, but how you move that bar. It's something that I'm getting familiar once again with. I wasn't able to lay on the bench like this with my sciatic problems, so yeah, training really just took a hit. But here's another angle. You can really see the extension going really past the bench there, and with my hands open, it's taking out some of the power that my forearms and biceps and all that can, it can transition that load into my chest a little better. And on this squeeze up, I like to hit them in a way that's kind of like hitting a decline bench, where you get that squeeze in that bottom inner kind of section of your pec, and you'll feel that while doing these. And I'll keep it in. These are just some hex presses at the end if you want to just rep out a little bit more while you're feeling weaker, and adding those pumps at the top, just that squeeze, it just really helps break down the muscle fibers to all the edges of that pec so you get it fully developed. And then drop that weight, feel what was just working, do them, just move your arms through it, and you'll see how I'm rotating my hands here, getting that squeeze through your pec so you can feel your full muscle. And that'll just help and make lifting all that much more fun as you're doing it. After training, I hop into my calls and checking in with the team, just going over all our initiatives and things for the day. But if you'd like to see how the structure looks and what these calls look like and just getting better at the game, let me know. And after we eat, then we got to refuel, get set for our appointments that we've just been setting with our calls after we were training. And as a chef, we got to have our knives that speak to us and all that. So I rep Dow Strong. Just always loved the product since I was a kid. Not affiliated, but hopefully one day. Just gonna show you what meal one looks like. It's essentially the same combination of these ingredients like every time. If anything, it's a little different veg, maybe it's a different protein or some more protein. But essentially meal one is always eggs with stuff and keeping it healthy. And then I'll make my girlfriend meal one as well. She might have like a sandwich or like dippy egg sandwich or something like that, but she's been keeping it low carb too, high protein. That way we don't get too hungry too early in the day and all that. And so this is something I've been doing more and more. I got a bunch of burgers on sale, and I've essentially been doing smash burgers each morning, so I'll show you that in a second. But right now we're just gonna hop into some veg prep. So red pepper, always a staple in the kitchen. I'm myself not the biggest fan of it, but my girlfriend is, and I'm making her a 2-egg scramble with some veggies and some cheese and stuff. And go ahead, julienne these up, and then give them a chop. Go for the variety, that way they kind of distribute throughout the eggs. And gotta hook up the sous chef, and then on to chopping the next one. One of the most underrated vegetables I personally find, especially to you folks who don't really like onions. Scallions, green onions, whatever you want to call them, they will probably be the perfect amount of flavor, and they bring that nice green element to the dish that you can eat with your eyes first too, right? So you saw me score that white end of the green onion. I find that helps a lot when you give it this chop, and chop it on a diagonal as well. Have a nice sharp knife, it makes it super satisfying and fun. When you get down to the bottom end, you won't have like big pieces of it. And then hop on to the next one. Oh man, so Canadian cucumbers. No, this is about the gayest part of my day, is getting a cucumber to the point where I can cut it up. Freaking Canadian cucumbers, man. Slice these up. Don't really go too thin or anything, but cut up a good amount. And what's nice about this is like if you cut up extra, super good on the side. Hard to go wrong with cucumbers. They add like that nice freshness, I find, not too much flavor, and super nice textural thing that I absolutely love in sandwiches. So yeah, cut up a bunch of these, cut them in half so they kind of fit into things better. And yeah, then you're on to chop the next one. Red onion, hard to go wrong with. I don't eat a lot of these, but I like to have it every now and then. Sometimes I just kind of crave dishes with them, and sometimes I don't. Red onion being better, if you will, than white onion to have on its own. I personally really like white onions with a light caramelization on them. Not getting them super caramelized where they're soggy, but they still have a nice little bite and crunch to them. That's what I do with these. Same process, just a little mild caramelization on them. Yeah, go ahead, chop these up into however you like. I leave these in these strips, if you will, and yeah, I don't chop these up because you'll see in a minute how I layer these into this kind of wrap that I make my what's it called? The Gordita Crunch or something like that. I know it's a Taco Bell thing, but like I've been doing this since before I knew about Taco Bell really. Hopping into cutting up our cheese. This is what Canadian cheese looks like. I know it's goofy. If hopefully I got some international fans and people watching from Trinidad. But yeah, this is what cheese looks like in Canada. Go ahead, chop that up. Serrated knife is gonna be your saving grace here. And this is just a nice, like, President's Choice one, honestly. They're so good that it's hard to go wrong with. Cut these pretty thin so they melt quickly. You see me cutting up a lot of vegetables because I'm making 2 meals. My thing that I'm just showing, and then some other eggs that I'm also not showing, or that I'm not showing for my girlfriend. But yeah, essentially get everything prepped and then start hopping into the pan stuff. One thing that I do want to get across is, like, you see my setup, man. Like, I'm not working with really any of the best stuff. This is like my second apartment that I've ever had in my life, other than college, living with my girlfriend, and we both have very different, like, body types and practices. Yeah, and we have dogs and all that good stuff. But yeah, you're gonna see me these are like burgers you can just buy. I think these are President's Choice something beef burgers. But yeah, they have this nice piece of parchment on them. I just use that to smash them down, get them nice and thin so they cook quickly, they cook more evenly. I find it's just a more tender cook than having them be as thick as, like, these burgers are supposed to be. So smash these down. Essentially it's going to be 2 patties, and we'll layer that into our crunch wrap. That's what they're called. They're called taco. You'll see, and then you just let me know in the comments. But yeah, smash these down. This pan, by the way, just got it. It's from the Rock series of pans, not Dwayne Johnson. It's just the Rock. But yeah, I've used them forever. They don't have those PUFAs or TIFAs that are bad for your male. Okay, I'll keep it. Yeah, they're not best for your reproductive organs, and not to mention all the other stuff. So these are pretty good all around. Not overly expensive. Got them on sale. New pans, and they're non-stick. Don't have to use oil ever, which I personally never like to use. I am West Indian, so I grew up using ghee. Ghee's where it's at. And if you don't know, ghee, clarified butter, that is just kind of... Sorry, I thought I was going to... Yeah, and I wanted to show you this. So, steak spice. This pretty much goes on anything. Pick this up at Costco for like $12 to get that huge amount of seasoning. They're like $8 for a small one just in the grocery. Yeah, get a nice sear on your burger. And sorry I'm not like cutting or jumping through this a whole bunch. I'm gonna eat this literally most days. If it's not this meat, it's some other meat done in this way. So yeah, I just want to kind of show you once, and if you don't watch it now, maybe you'll come back to it later or something. But yeah, flip that over and then put your seasoning on. Don't put your seasoning then flip it, because it's just gonna burn and kind of make a mess of your pan. And yeah, just put it on after, and this will be plenty enough. You'll be fine. Then we're going to add some onions in. Just take the rawness out of them. We're not trying to cook them too much. You do what you want, obviously, but I'll just tell you how I roll. I like to get a nice little slight caramelization on them just to bring the sweetness out. And I'm gonna add a little bit of ghee just to help with that caramelization process. So this is what I was saying, clarified butter. This is the OG cooking lubricant, if you will, before the big companies realize the money and nonsense in seed oils. But yeah, that's a story for another video. Feel free to use some of this with your cooking. The pro athletes use this. They're cleared to use it on their diets and in their regimens. I just watched a really cool video that Will Tenney put out at a $30,000 gym. It's a month, $30,000 a month for pro athlete training. Basically, it's a pretty sweet deal, like if you're a pro athlete, you know. But I love hearing what the chefs have to say on that side of programming, and he was super excited that they got cleared to use ghee in their menus and their meal preps. So yeah, it's just exciting. It's the little things for me. Yeah, and we're gonna crack an egg. I'm gonna do this over easy, or no, what do they call it? Medium. Jeez. So yeah, flip it on both sides. Essentially, it's gonna be running in the middle, and it'll break inside of what we're gonna be making, and just add a nice kind of richness throughout everything. Yeah, this is what the pan's looking like most mornings. Some eggs in there, whether it's 1 or 2, 3, 4. Some protein in there. It could be bacon, it could be sausages, it could be leftover meats from the night before. And then it's going to be a nice vegetable that goes well in there, because I like, it just tastes good. There's no real rhyme or reason to that there. Technically, if you want to be like feeling, if you go Buddhist with it, then no, you're not going to be adding any onions, garlic, or anything like that. You're going to keep it super simple, but then you're not really eating meat either. So diet is very nuanced. It's a very particular thing. I like veggies, and I went carnivore with it. Like when I was doing my cut majorly, I was kind of anti everything that I didn't need, and then so veggies was something I cut out. But I like having them. They just taste good. Simple as that. So yeah, we're gonna add a little bit of cheese to our burgers. That'll get melted, and everything is pretty well coming together. So I know the camera pretty much fixed in one spot, but when I'm not here at the stove, I'm prepping some other stuff. So I'm probably scrambling up the eggs right now for my girlfriend's dish that I'm going to be doing after. And yeah, this is just about there. They cut together pretty quickly, to be honest, because you could prep these veggies and have them in a container already. Do a prep twice a week, do a Sunday and a Thursday or a Wednesday prep, and then you're basically just throwing things in a pan and eating them if you want it to be fresh. Or you can go like the other step where you're already portioning it into containers and all that. But I'm pretty low on fridge space and juggling moving into this new place. So yeah, this is what it looks like. It's super simple. Grab your tortilla, some like 30 grams of carbs here to kick the day off. And this is after training and stuff too, so I really like having a tortilla around this time, or English muffins or something like that, making a little breakfast sandwich. So I throw my cucumbers down, then I like to season them, little garlic salt, and some black pepper. This hits the spot for me. In Trinidad, we always grate up cucumber and add it to some of our dishes, like doubles, and it, with the garlic salt and some pepper, it hits the spot. So try it out if you want to. If not, it's not gonna hurt you. You just use salt and pepper or whatever you want to do. I add a little green onion because that combination just is stellar. It's so fresh, puts me in a good mood. And this is how we're gonna layer this kind of power section of our meal that's gonna get us through the most part of our day. Yeah, throw some onions in there. There's the cheese there to help it kind of stay. Go ahead, put your egg in there. And you can do your egg scrambled because the yolk is going to break. Like, let's be real, when you see how it always happens. But it's nice how the cook works. It seals it all up. Yeah, so you have that nice little protein egg, some onions in there, so there's texture. It's not just all a soft bite. And then the cucumbers add the crunch there. The scallions kind of round off everything. And sometimes I'd add some other things in, but mainly I'm keeping it really simple because most days I just want to get something in me. And you kind of crave everything before you're hungry, but once you actually get eating and mostly full, like, it's on to the next thing, right? Like, you have a million problems when your stomach's empty, but when your stomach's full, you have one problem when your stomach's empty, but when your stomach's full, you got the rest of the world to worry about. Yeah, so throw some sriracha on there, add whatever else you want that's low calorie generally. And this is the wrapping style that gets me called out for making some Taco Bell crunch wrap. I swear I've been doing this since before that was a menu item there, but I don't know. I've never eaten Taco Bell, don't plan to, and we got Taco Bell at home, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, wrap it up. It'll come together. It's not the biggest deal if it doesn't. And then you're going to go with the open side down onto the pan, let gravity be your friend here. And essentially the smashed yolk will, it's gonna just go around everything, make everything nice and rich, and kind of seal up the whole anyways. And I like to add a little bit of ghee on the top. Spread that around for when we flip it over. It's gonna be a really nice crunch and that texture to the tortilla. But yeah, that's essentially it. So I'll stop talking for now. This is what my girlfriend's having. She's just having 2 eggs scrambled. So I didn't record what I did here, but a little bit of ghee in the pan, then go in with your peppers, your onions, a little saute, then add your eggs in, scramble that up, then put your cheese, then your green onions, and it's pretty bomb scrambled eggs there. And yeah, this is that crunch wrap or whatever, flipped over, all sealed up and good to go. Yeah, you can do whatever you want in here, right? Like, you see it now. I've done like complete traditional burgers, chicken burgers, or buffalo wraps, like little burrito style things in there. Do whatever you want. Have fun with it. Keep it high protein, and yeah, that'll be a stellar meal 1. And as you can see, it's not really messy. It's portable. Enjoy. But yeah, take care, guys. Thanks for watching.